Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. The Russian armed forces sustained offensive operations across all operational fronts, achieving new territorial gains and consolidating advances in the Kharkiv, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Notably, the settlements of Synelnykove, Kharkiv region, and Danylivka, Dnipropetrovsk region were liberated. The Russian campaign continues to integrate combined arms firepower with electronic warfare suppression, deep strike interdictions, and encirclement maneuvers aimed at collapsing Ukraine's defensive networks. The West Group improved frontline control, striking AFU and National Guard brigades around Kirilivka, Petropavlivka, Dnipropetrovsk, and Sviatohorsk. Encircled Ukrainian elements near Kupiansk faced sustained fire from the 6th Army, which repelled 3 counterattacks near Monokhinivka, Osinov, and Nechvolodivka, aimed at restoring river crossings across the Oskil. Enemy losses: 220 personnel, 4 armored vehicles, 29 trucks, and 10 EW stations destroyed.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's start with the overall picture. How would you describe the state of operations across the front as of November 13?
The situation has entered a new operational phase, one that combines tactical precision with sustained momentum. The Russian armed forces are now moving from attritional engagements to what we'd classify as positional dominance, where the objective is not merely to inflict losses, but to systematically collapse Ukraine's defensive grid. 2 liberated settlements, Synelnykove in Kharkiv and Danylivka in Dnipropetrovsk, illustrate this shift. These aren't random captures, they are geographic anchor points that widen the Russian forward line, deepen its buffer zones, and reduce Ukrainian maneuver corridors. We're seeing synchronized activity across all sectors, each reinforcing the other through layered pressure, north to south, east to west. The operational art here lies in the Russians' ability to integrate their fires, mobility, and electronic warfare assets across vast, diverse terrain simultaneously.
Let's turn to the north. What were the key developments in the Sumy and Kharkiv regions this week?
The North Group executed a decisive set of actions, culminating in the liberation of Synelnykove. This was a well-coordinated mechanized push involving elements from both armored and Jaeger units. The engagements in Khotin, Mauritsia, and Volfino effectively broke through Ukraine's second defensive tier in the Sumy region. In Kharkiv, Russian forces maintained pressure around Volchansk and Prolatarka, dismantling border defense detachments and destroying logistical hubs. The Ukrainians lost over 100 personnel and multiple tanks, IFVs, and supply depots. This northern advance is not about headline victories, it's about strangulation. By forcing Kiev to divert manpower to stabilize Sumy and Kharkiv, Moscow achieves a strategic diversion effect, weakening Ukraine's ability to reinforce critical fronts further south.
So this is less about capturing cities and more about operational leverage?
Exactly. The northern operation acts as a fixing maneuver, tying down Ukrainian brigades, stretching logistics, and keeping Kiev's command off balance. It's a classic doctrine of operational economy of force applied effectively.
Moving westward, Kupiansk continues to be a focal point. What's the latest there?
Kupiansk is now effectively encircled. The West Group, led by the 6th Army, has tightened its hold, repelling 3 Ukrainian counterattacks near Monokhinivka, Osinov, and Nechvolodivka. These were desperate attempts to break the ring and re-establish crossings over the Oskil River. The Russians have not only repelled those counterattacks but expanded their fire control over the area, destroying armored vehicles, EW stations, and ammunition depots. The operational takeaway here is simple. Kupiansk is no longer a functioning supply node for Ukrainian logistics. Its loss severs a vital artery linking Kharkiv with the central Donbass corridor.
That sounds like a precursor to a larger encirclement operation.
Precisely. Once Kupiansk is neutralized, the entire northern flank of Ukrainian defenses becomes exposed. The West Group's operations are setting the stage for what could become a full north-central envelopment by winter.
Let's talk about the Donetsk area. What's unfolding in the southern sector?
The South Group is advancing steadily along the Kramatorsk, Seversk, Kostiantynivka axis. These are high-value targets forming the northern rim of Ukraine's Donetsk stronghold. By securing these positions, Russia effectively narrows the Ukrainian defensive corridor and isolates Kramatorsk from lateral reinforcements. Over 190 Ukrainian personnel were neutralized, along with artillery and armored units. What's important here is how the South and Center groups are coordinating. One presses forward, the other constrains Ukrainian withdrawal routes. This is multi-vector pressure, designed to compress the Ukrainian front into smaller, less defensible sectors.
The central front around Krasnoarmysk seems to have seen the heaviest action. Can you unpack that?
The Center Group continues to be the primary engine of Russian offensive action. The Second Army is advancing deep into Krasnoarmysk, engaging Ukrainian forces block by block through industrial districts. Simultaneously, the 5th Motorized Rifle Brigade of the 51st Army is pushing through the Vostokny and Zapadny micro-districts of Dmitrov. The 425th Skala Regiment attempted 10 counterattacks from Hryshine to break the encirclement but failed. The result, more than 500 Ukrainian casualties and multiple armored losses. What we're seeing here is the progressive urban isolation of Ukrainian units, what we call incremental siege warfare. It's slow, methodical, and devastatingly effective.
So, is this a turning point in the Donetsk campaign?
It could very well be. Krasnoarmysk's fall would unravel the defensive chain protecting central Donbass. Once breached, Russia would hold a clear corridor into the Dnipro sector.
In the east, we've heard reports of the liberation of Danylivka. What does that signify?
The East Group's liberation of Danylivka is strategically symbolic and operationally significant. It secures the high ground overlooking the Velikomichailivka-Ravnopilya line, giving Russian forces artillery and observation superiority. This opens a pathway toward Dnipropetrovsk's western logistics network, threatening key Ukrainian supply hubs. It's not just about one town, it's about shaping the next operational theater. By consolidating control here, Russia can pivot south or strike west with minimal resistance.
Finally, Colonel, what's happening along the lower Dnipro?
Along the Dnipro front, the Dnipro Group continues precision operations. Strikes on Novoandriivka, Mykolsk, and Malotokmachka destroyed Ukrainian mechanized and coastal defense units, along with several electronic warfare assets. The goal here is not territorial expansion, it's systemic disruption. By degrading Ukrainian EW and radar coverage, Russia is establishing freedom of action for drones and strike aircraft. It's the quiet but crucial groundwork for broader deep interdiction campaigns, particularly targeting the southern transport grid.
Looking at all these sectors together, what's your overall assessment of where this campaign is heading?
We're witnessing a gradual but unmistakable transition toward strategic envelopment. Russia is combining spatial control with functional paralysis, denying Ukraine the ability to coordinate, reinforce, or recover. The destruction of electronic warfare systems, radar, and depots shows a deliberate effort to dismantle Ukraine's ability to fight as an integrated force. The pattern of encirclement, from Kupiansk in the north to Krasnoarmysk in the center, suggests that by winter's end, Russia aims to secure a continuous operational corridor spanning Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Dnipropetrovsk. The Russian strategy has shifted from gaining ground to denying Ukraine the means to hold it, and that's a profound evolution in the conduct of this war.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that should these gains consolidate, the Russian armed forces will hold a continuous corridor linking Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Dnipropetrovsk sectors, paving the way for sustained winter operations and deeper penetration into the Ukrainian heartland by early 2026.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive frontline updates from commanders in theater.